I want to talk Drake London with you next because this is a guy who has not been in the NFL very long, but much like Garrett Wilson, much like Chris Olave from his own draft class, certainly at least with Garrett Wilson, he's been wandering quarterback wilderness for a minute here now. We thought that it might be Kirk Cousins to get him out. It wasn't. But will Michael Penix be that guy? It wasn't a perfect audition for Penix last year, 56% completion rate, but certainly there were some high highs, particularly when he was throwing to this guy right here, Drake London.
Yeah, I mean, there was a massive performance. What was that, week 18, where we kind of got to see what the ceiling can be for Drake London. And if we can, I mean, when you draft players in fantasy football, especially early, you're saying, what's their ceiling? Is this guy a top 12 wide receiver, or could he actually be a top 5, top 3 wide receiver 1 overall? A lot of that is going to hinge on whether or not Michael Penix is actually good at football, which we still don't know yet. Early signs point to Drake London could just continue to have this good role where he is a target hog. And listen, anything is going to be better than what we were getting last year from Kirk Cousins. And it feels like we say that every year with the Falcons. Well, anything could be better now with this new quarterback coming in. But it actually feels real. Like, it feels like we're still waiting on the Kyle Pitts breakout, and we're getting all these weird reports that he's got to work on a lot of stuff. And it's just like it. And somehow he's progressively getting younger at the same time. Like, I don't know, but I think there's Drake London should be firmly in that top 12, probably at like number 12. But I think that's where he's going to stay, even with Michael Penix there, just because the volume is going to be too big to ignore.
I think I'm going to end up coming in a little higher than 12 on Drake London. I think he's, man, it's so tough because we just broke down the second year quarterbacks on Football 301 last week, and Falcons fans, I guess, were not happy with our Michael Penix evaluation, which basically hinged, and I actually think it's perfectly encapsulated by their production and their kind of connection, Drake London and Michael Penix, on out routes. According to Fantasy Points data, he was 11 of 15 on out routes last year, Michael Penix, in the 3 games. And my point on that is, some of those completions were like the best throws you'll see all year. Like out routes to Drake London, Michael Penix was just nailing them. They're making these big plays. He's putting it up for Michael Penix put it up for Drake London to go get it. Drake London is separating extremely well. Those 3 misses were like some of the worst misses you'll ever see. Like that's where Michael Penix is right now. He's a high variance quarterback, but that's him as a rookie. If they can, and again, we're hyper focusing on one route, but I think that's generally where he is right now. The highs are very high. The lows were pretty low. If they can just get that floor to come up a little bit with a full off season of being the guy, taking some conceptual stuff from what worked last year under Zach Robinson, who I think did pretty well as the offensive coordinator, and pushing that along, like we can get Michael Penix to an area where Drake London, I think he has wide receiver 1 overall in his range of outcomes. I'm not ranking him that way. I'm not going to, say like, that's not, he's going to do that. But I do think that is within his range of outcomes because he is that good of a player and I do think Penix, again, the ceiling moments are good enough for him to get pushed into that range if the floor can come up as well.
Yeah, it's funny as you say that you can see him being wide receiver 1 overall. I kind of look at Drake London being another guy that's like a Puka Nacua, like a CeeDee Lamb, one of these guys that can just thrive off of volume. And if Michael Penix is anything like their quarterbacks, Matthew Stafford and Dak Prescott, I mean, he doesn't have to be, those are both very good quarterbacks, but what I'm getting at is that he doesn't necessarily have to be this incredible world beater, this Pro Bowler here in year 2 for Drake London to actually be good for fantasy. It's just the volume alone, and Drake London's talent as well is good, actually elevate him to being a top 5, top 10 guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, I love Drake London and I really want some good things for him this year.